we have the New Zealand Resident Doctors Association, which is warning people could die if physician assistants are left to treat undiagnosed patients without a doctor in the room. It comes as proposed regulation would let them see patients on their own. Joining me here is Deborah Powell from the New Zealand Resident Doctors Association here at the desk. Good morning.
Good morning, Garth.
Deborah, quite a strong claim that people could die. I want to get to that, but can you just tell me first of all what a clinician assistant or an assistant physician or whatever you want to call it actually is?
Okay, well this is a foreign workforce to us here in New Zealand. They've come from the US, they've been in the UK, which is relevant here, and essentially they've got a 2-year qualification, and then they work in the healthcare system. Now they're foreign to us because there's no role they claim to perform that we don't already have a workforce performing here in New Zealand, be it a nurse, a doctor, a physio, a paramedic. You know, we have all the workforces here. We've got it covered. So they are foreign to us, and they're not trained here in New Zealand. So they're a North American health workforce in a different health system, of course.
So this is someone effectively who's trained to a lesser level than a fully qualified doctor?
Absolutely, lesser trained than a nurse.
And so, okay, so your concern is that people could die. How do you make that claim?
Well, they were, as I say, they were originally a North American workforce, and they moved into the UK, into the NHS. The NHS mucked up the regulation, putting it bluntly, and that resulted in a report because of the number of patient deaths and adverse harm that came to patients. And it's that report which recorded at least 6 deaths as a result of these people seeing what we call undifferentiated patients. They haven't got a diagnosis yet, and that's where our number one concern is, that it takes a lot of training, a lot of skill to be able to differentiate the diagnosis in a patient. Doctors spend years honing that skill, and if you don't get it right, either people get treated for the wrong thing or don't get treated at all, things get missed, and unfortunately if things get missed, patients die. So that's our number one concern, that patients who need to be diagnosed, they should stay with the doctors. These people should not be involved in their care.
Which sounds like there's no role for them, right? That you're saying that it's just that a doctor should see a patient person, a fully qualified physician, and say you've got X, Y or Z, or that sounds like it could be a heart attack rather than just a cough. And then someone like this could step in and actually supply some of the care that's required. That's fair enough?
Yep, we are saying that, under the supervision of a doctor obviously, and the doctor would have to make up a treatment plan, but yes, under the supervision of a doctor.
Supervision sounds like a bit of a nightmare though, if you've got one doctor and a bunch of these people on a ward. Is that how you'd be worried about that too?
Well, almost everyone in healthcare is under supervision of somewhere. My own members are under the supervision of senior doctors. So yeah, we work independently. We are registered medical practitioners, but we've got a senior doctor, a vocationally registered doctor, always available to us, who's keeping an eye on us and helping us actually in our training to become better. So supervision isn't an unusual thing in the health sector.
I mean, 6 deaths sounds obviously shocking for those families that would have been involved in that UK study, but in a big health system, you're going to see numbers like that. Are those real concerns, you think, that the same kind of approach could unfold here?
The 6 deaths came amongst hundreds of concerns about adverse patient events. So the 6 deaths, yes, they stand out, and obviously the ultimate toll on the patient, but there were a whole lot of concerns that led to this official inquiry in the UK. It was the Leng inquiry. Professor Leng led it, and so that is the headline, I guess. But there were a lot of other adverse events that occurred because of the loose regulation around these people, and we'd just like to avoid that happening here in New Zealand.
So this is something that's still under consideration. You're sort of making a strong claim representing the resident doctors that word doctor, physician, needs to just stay with people that have had the full...
Absolutely. It was another finding of the Leng report, that the use of the word physician, people thought they were seeing a doctor, because of course in our society physician is doctor. So the second recommendation from the Leng report that we've picked up on is these people should be called clinical assistants, so there's no confusion in the minds of the public that they're not seeing a doctor. It just allows public to go, well, hang on a sec, I think I might go and see a doctor and make sure I've got this right.
Thank you for coming and seeing us this morning there. That's Deborah Powell, the New Zealand Resident Doctors Association National Secretary.